If I would start my video production right now in this year from scratch, what would I actually do? What would I do differently? What would I focus first? And I know there's a lot of advice out there, a lot of people telling you, buy this camera, use this software, you need these and that Instagram followers. And sure, some of this really matters, but I want to cut through all of this today and give you the 3 things that I think are actually the most important things when you are building your video production business in this year. Okay, so let's start with skills. And I'm going to assume something here. I'm going to assume that you know how to film, that you know the basics of handling a camera, handling audio, and use lighting. You have that foundation. And if you don't have that, start from zero and go and build that first. But let's say you have that. What else do you need? Well, gear. You need the tools to actually do the work. But here's the thing, and I really want that you know this. You do not need to own everything. You can rent gear, you can borrow gear. Especially in every bigger city like New York City, there are rental houses everywhere. So don't let the gear conversation stop from creating, and you can figure this out as you go. So skills, check. Let's move on what I think most people underestimate the most when getting started. And that's called portfolio. So this is so important because before anyone's going to pay you money, they want to see what you're actually able to do. And if you're just starting out, you might not have any clients. This is totally fine, but you need to go out there and create something. Now there's this concept called spec work, spec for speculative. Basically, it means you create a piece of work that looks like it's a real client project, but you did it in your own terms, for free or in exchange for permission to use it. Think of it as working for free, but with a strategy behind it. I did it myself too. Right when I started filmmaking in 2020, I filmed a short pizza commercial for a pizza place in Vienna, completely for free. And last year, we shot basically an entire brand documentary here in Brooklyn for a non-profit, basically for free. And here's the key thing about your portfolio. It has to reflect what you actually want to be doing. If your goal is corporate filmmaking like I do, interviews, brand films, then go out and shoot that. Reach out to small businesses, offer them a free interview video. But if you want to shoot music videos, go and shoot a music video. Your portfolio has to speak to the clients you want to attract. This is not the time for practicing and shooting whatever. It's about shooting intentionally. And another important thing, before you agree to work for free for a spec, make sure you can actually use that work. You need to be able to put it on your website, on LinkedIn, YouTube, you name it, wherever you want to show your work. So if someone says to you, you can use the footage, but you can't publish the final product anywhere, this almost has basically no value for you. So make sure this is clear from the beginning and maybe setting up even a small contract. Now, where do you actually show this portfolio? You need a website, and here's the good thing. It's easier than ever to build a website. You do not need to be a web designer. Use Squarespace, use Wix, whatever works for you best. Keep it simple, keep it clean, and host your video either there directly or on YouTube. It's for free, it's reliable, and you can embed it in most of the websites. And also make sure that your social media is clean. You do not need a big following, but you need to have a clean presence. So portfolio, checked. Now let's talk about what I honestly believe is the most important and most difficult piece of the puzzle. And that's called network. And I know people hear this word and they roll their eyes and think, yeah, network, whatever. But I want to be very specific about that. Because this is not about going to random events and showing your business cards, whatever. It's about being really strategic and finding clients. Finding clients is honestly the trickiest part of building a business. The technical stuff, you can learn that. But getting in front of the right people, that takes time. And I want to give you a realistic approach to it. First, think about low fence connections. What do I mean by that? Who do you actually know? Don't start with cold emailing people. Start with the people actually who are in your life. Do you have a friend who works at a small startup? Maybe a cousin who owns a small business? A former colleague who works now in marketing? These are the real conversations you need to have. Not a pitch, just a simple conversation. Hey, I'm building a video production. If you ever need video content like that, please keep me in mind. Simple as that. In the corporate world especially, you want to talk to marketing managers, comms people like comms managers, directors, and people who own mid-size or small companies. Basically companies who do not have an in-house video team, but are big enough to have some budgets for video. These are the clients you want to go for. And the way to reach out to them is slowly, consistently, and build these relationships. Now, and here's something a lot of people don't talk about. Consider offering into projects for a lower fee. Not completely for free, but discounted. You're not underselling yourself. You are buying trust. You are saying, I want to show you what we are capable to do. Give me one project, and after that you will understand how it is to work with us. The first project can be the beginning of a long-term relationship. And don't forget about other filmmakers. Reach out to other videographers, production assistants in your city and collaborate, refer work to each other. Maybe you're not the right fit for a project, but your colleague is. That kind of generosity always comes back to you. I've gotten some of my best clients for referrals from other filmmakers in the city. And above all of this, build relationships for the long term. I cannot stress this enough. Do not think in transactions, think in years. The client you work with today might have a bigger budget in 2 years. The filmmaker that you grab a coffee today might send you a 2K project next year. Play it the long game. You are a service provider. And my extra tip, build a brand and not a name. So one more thing, and this is something that I learned over these last years. If you are thinking long term, and you should be, think about building a brand and not just building a brand about your personal name. Why? Think about your visual identity, your company name, your presence. Something that is bigger than you as an individual, just because the reality is, if your business has your name, it's limited. If it's like John Smith Videography, then everything is depending on you as John Smith. You're the one who has to be on every shoot and every conversation. And my business, for example, is called 24 Stills. And that means I do not have to put myself on camera for every project. I can bring in other filmmakers as part of my team. I can send a colleague to another shoot when I'm busy, and the brand is just bigger than my name, and this is what gives a business real room to grow. So to wrap this all up, if I would start a video production in 2026 from zero, here's exactly what I would focus on. 1, make sure you have the skills and the gear that you can handle each client situation to deliver good work. 2, build a portfolio that speaks directly to the clients you want to attract. Do spec works, shoot for free if needed, but be very strategic about it. And 3, and this is most important again, build your network basically immediately. Not cold outreach, not an Instagram, LinkedIn following, but real relationship with real people. Build them slowly and over time. And something along the way, start thinking about your brand. Build something that's just bigger than your name. I hope this was helpful. I would love to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments what is the biggest challenge you are facing right now while building your video production. I read every comment, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I see you hopefully in the next one.